Good morning. Quietish day yesterday because the tennis is getting into the deep stages of the tournament. So ordinarily you'd be looking at Zverev replying to Musetti, but I have been telling you about this Musetti all the way through. And look at that. That followed on from Iga Swiatek losing in 2 straight sets as well. Now that's why I tell you to lay these shorties at the off. Excellent stuff from Zheng. It is a top 7 clash. So those odds are far too short for a top 7 clash at the Olympics, as you can see there. So this is why I just kept my powder dry yesterday. Ordinarily, I would be laying Musetti, but as you know, since Wimbledon, I've been following him, and I wouldn't necessarily lay against him. I would have laid Zverev had Zverev won the first set. I did tell you the favourite's going to be vulnerable yesterday. Casper Ruud losing the first set and losing the match. This is the Olympics. Djokovic, well, second set nearly Tsitsipas, nearly getting through. So those were the main ones yesterday. I normally star matches I'm interested in. See Frances Tiafoe getting a good result, but I would have looked at Kovacevic winning the first set. This is what you see normally when fellow countrymen or countrywomen play each other, competitive matches, because they know each other from Davis Cup. As far as the football was concerned, just the one play for me yesterday. Ordabasi.
This market is now in play.
Against Differdenga. And you've got the in-play stats to thank for this. Ordabasi all over this lot. 0-1 for Differdenga. Make that 0-2. So it's 2-0 down on aggregate. But thanks to an own goal from Brusco, I'll take that all day long. You could have actually cashed out at this opportunity here. Or you could have waited, because Ordabasi have to score 2 goals because they're down 0-2 on aggregate. Boom. Second goal. This is where you cash out. Simple as that. 2-1 up. Lock in the profit, and anything else that happens afterwards, you don't have to worry. Desmond Tutu potentially as well. Bring this into extra time. So good stuff. Ordabasi. There's a lot of favourites yesterday who already had a very, very strong lead and didn't necessarily need to compound upon that. This wasn't a very strong lead. It was a 2-0 lead for Trab. They were the dominant team, but they don't need to win. A 0-0 gets them through. This is the problem I have with playing second legs.
This market has been suspended.
Cercle Brugge, well, come on, always going to be vulnerable. Honadora, unknown quantity. But the market got Raika correct here. And Ajax, just putting this one to bed. This was the expectation of the first round, which only ended 0-1 to Ajax. So important for Ajax that they had to get that second goal, knock the stuffing out of their opponents, which indeed they did all second half. So this is what I faced yesterday. A lot of teams like this who don't need to win. Brøndby against Lappi, already a 6-0 lead from the first leg. So that is inconsequential. That's 6-1 on aggregate. Do you really need to rely on Brøndby to get an equaliser? They don't need to. They just have to sit back, soak it up, take the 1-0 defeat, go through 6-1 on aggregate. So despite being by far the better team, they did get the equaliser and they did push on and get the win. But not going to play, because teams who don't need to win very rarely do win. That's my general rule there. Mlada Boleslav, I did tell you to lay the draw here, but quite simply, Mlada Boleslav didn't turn up second half for the vast proportion of the half. Only 2 shots on target second half. Compare that, well, similarly, 2 shots on target first half, 4 in total. They did get the goal, but they didn't get the second goal. Oh, sorry. They got the goal to confirm. And again, that's the problem. They don't need to score. I cashed out with a £9 loss on the draw here, but I could have made a profit there. AEK Athens put this one to bed, and how? 4-3 from the first leg, 4-0 from the second. Just tighten that defence up. Copenhagen again against Magpies. Magpies did score first, but Copenhagen don't need to win. They're 3-0 up. As long as Magpies don't score a second. But really, looking logically, this lot far, far too good for a Gibraltar side, as you saw there. But very little value to be had, given they were 1.07 pre-match. So that was pretty much the story of the football yesterday. It was similar all the way through. Lots of favourites with big leads on the first leg. Don't need to win in the second leg and don't tend to win. Great result for St Mirren against Valur from Iceland. Good stuff from them. They're through to the next round with the SPL starting on Saturday as well. Looking on to today, and it's a very mixed bag. Work our way through. Austrian Bundesliga, Grazza against Red Bull Salzburg. You can have a look at recent matches. The season has just begun. No, the season is just beginning. Salzburg champions from last season, expected to get off to a flying start. So that would be one to target. Lots of familiar names now. I would go Austrian Bundesliga 1, not 2. But there do tend to be some familiar names. But liquidity is a problem. The lower down the leagues you go. Belgian Jupiler League, Union Saint-Gilloise. I think 0-0 for both teams in their first matches of the season. Union Saint-Gilloise playing yet another newly promoted side. They played newly promoted Dender. Got a 0-0. If they don't win today, they're already going to be in trouble for the title race. So you'd expect a reaction, but you don't know anything about Beerschot. That's the problem. Newly promoted. Are they going to sink or swim this season? To work our way down, Croatian HNL1 League. Nice to see Dinamo Zagreb returning. Should be a comfortable evening for them, but they have tended to cock up first matches of the season in the past. They got a loss against Lokomotiv Zagreb, I think, the last start of the season last year. Czech 1 League, we've got the old familiars, Slavia Prague, Sparta Prague. And this is much better, isn't it? Familiar names that we know from last season. We know they're reliable. We hope they just turn up today. AGF Aarhus against Sonder. It's still 1 or 2 matches into the season. You can check everything out here. Copenhagen beat Aarhus 3-2. Sonder drew 1-1 with Lyngby. So not much really to report to you, but the market has Aarhus as strong favourite today. I would also target the Danish First Division because it's a league known for goals. Moving on down, as you can see, it's getting nice and busy, isn't it? Interturku against Mariehamn. Let's have a look at that one. Interturku were unbeaten in 5 and in 3 at home. 2+ goals scored in the last 4. It's all ticking the right boxes. 4 consecutive defeats for Mariehamn. 5 consecutive over 2.5 goals suggests they might score without necessarily winning. They do tend to score second half. If Inter continue to score 2 goals, of course, then they're obviously favoured today in the Finnish Veikkausliiga. Bundesliga 2. Great to see that back as well. This is one of our leagues. It tends to kick off just before the start of the main leagues on a Saturday, the German Bundesliga, English Premier League, etc. We tend to get this kick-off about midday, 12:30 or thereabouts. It's not going to be researched every week. Hamburg finished 4th last season. FC Köln newly relegated, so that's another one for you to look out for. Is this newly relegated side going to find this lower tier to their liking? We will soon find that out today with FC Köln. Moving on down, and this is Soccer 24. This is where you'll find all of the football information you need. This is in alphabetical order. Irish Premier Division, Irish First Division. I hope I could stay up tonight. It's about a 2 a.m. kickoff there, but I do like this coupon today. It is very appealing with lots of familiar names. So all of the Irish research is here for you. Let's take a quick look through. Athlone and Kerry, you'd be favouring Athlone here. Kerry, their wins tend to come at home. Cobra Embers against Longford, slightly favouring Cobe, but they're not scoring 2 goals against the bottom 2, and they're playing bottom 2 today. Is that just an anomaly? Head-to-heads also very tight indeed. Don't forget those head-to-heads have occurred this season, 1-1 and 0-0. Don't forget you can pick your battles. If the match isn't readable, then you either divert to in-play stats or you leave it alone. For example, 2.5 the favourite. As you'll learn as this new season comes up, I tend to avoid 2.4 the favourite. Why? If you do the research, your conclusion inevitably is that it's too tough to call. Treaty against Cork should be a comfortable evening for Cork City, who, one of those sides, newly relegated, and look where they are. This is why I tell you to focus on newly relegated at the start of the season. They can dominate their lower league and give you an endless stream of trades, particularly if they concede first, as I mentioned in the angles here. Strong under 2.5 goal vibe for Treaty United. When I see that, I tend to back 0-0 pre-match. 8 out of 10 goals conceded at home have come second half as well, so you might want to back 0-0 at heart and 0-0 pre-match at its highest odds and hope we get yet another 0-0 at half time. I would cash out then. But you'd be favouring Cork City. UCD are third, and they're playing Wexford today. No winning 2 at home, no winning 5 away. So recent form is pretty poor for both. Both teams have scored in this season's head-to-head, but UCD have not beaten 4th to 8th at home, which is a really strange anomaly. They're playing 6th today. Wexford, though, do concede. Irish Premier Division, Drogs and Bows, 2 of the lesser lights, so you might want to just be a little cautious with that one. Dundalk and Galway, head-to-head are with Galway. They've got the wins this season. The winning form against 8th and lower is with Galway as well, playing 9th today. 3 out of 3 wins against 8th and lower away from home. That is good form, but 2.2 the favourite, again, it's one of those odds where the market can't split the teams. Waterford and Shamrock Rovers. Shamrock, I think, involved in European club competition. Is that going to be a struggle? As you can see here, you'd be laying any late draw. No draw for both of these two sides recently. Both teams to score is a possible, but without Shamrock losing. But, yeah, they've got wins away against 2nd and 3rd already this season. Shamrock, and they're playing, if I can get this thing out of the way, 3rd today. So they've already beaten Waterford away from home. So good stuff there. Work our way through. Anything else catch the eye? Polish Ekstraklasa, well worthy of continued support, but we've got another one of those tough to call matches there. First Division, I tend to play when Arka Gdynia play, but we've got an odds-on favourites here, worthy of our attention. Romanian 1 League, some familiar names. Dinamo Bucharest, you'll probably know. And we work our way down. Swedish Superettan, I'll stick it on the radar, but it along with the Norwegian Tippeligaen, been a very unreadable league this summer. Thun in the Challenge League, 1.66 favourites. It is Switzerland. It's a familiar country. We've got the Olympics as well today, but we're getting deeper into the tournament, as you can tell with the odds. It's becoming a lot more difficult for the market to pick a side. 3 of them over 2.2. Friendlies, the Chavs are out for Portugal, so watch out for your catalytic converters. The Chavs will be on the lookout for some car wheels, car stereos and catalytic converters, the old Chavs. Mönchengladbach are playing Ipswich. I wonder if that's going to continue today. They should be the better side. Any other familiar names? Well, lots of familiar names, but any of the marquee clubs? Well, Ollie, European Conference League finalists. Malaga, NEC Nijmegen, Le Havre. Hercules is playing today. Good for old Hercules. Nice for him to get a run out. Inter Milan are playing Pisa at 6:30. What I would recommend with friendlies is to have yourself, make sure you've got a low liability angle in, because these are strange matches where you're going to get a different team in each half. The Baggies are out against Cambridge. Sheffield United, the Blades, are out against Huddersfield. Local derby as well. So that could be competitive enough. Benfica are playing Fulham. Ordinarily, you'd be favouring the Champions League side Benfica here, wouldn't you? So good stuff. Nottingham Forest playing Villarreal. But some of these matches are too tough to call. Some of them, if there's very strong angles, just make sure you've got a low odds entry points if you're a layer. Big odds entry point if you're a backer. You see, busy day. Tennis-wise, we're getting deeper and deeper into the Olympics, making it tougher and tougher to call. But Alcaraz retains his very strong favouritism. This is going to be fascinating. Musetti just taking a scalp yesterday. This could be the most vulnerable that Djokovic has been for a while. Musetti, 3.2 outsider, taking a top 4 player out in 2 straight sets. I told you to follow this guy since Wimbledon. You might want to have a small back of him pre-match if you fancy it, or do you fancy him getting better odds in play? As you can see, the market is very respectful. 3.4 at Bet365, down to 2.75. Compare that to yesterday, 1.36, 3.2, 1.44, 2.75. And this is a fellow top 4 player. Djokovic, I think, will be in trouble today. It's just a matter of getting a low odds entry point, which would be the first set. Unless you want to back Musetti pre-match at 2.75 or higher and hope that he obliges. So this could be fascinating. I did tell you about him ever since he came onto the stage at Wimbledon. Musetti could be one to really start going up in the world rankings into the top 10, and he could be a real force. We might be catching a player on the rise here, Musetti, like we did all the way back. If you've been following me with Football Trading Profits and DRT, I got you onto Tsitsipas before he became a household name. He just kept winning every single thing when he was in the hundreds in the rankings. So that is the absolute standout. Iga Swiatek. This must be for the bronze medal. Must be, because she was out yesterday with Zheng, a top 7 player. So this is a difference with the Olympics. You're playing for your country here, and you've got an added incentive. Playing for gold as well. This occurs every 4 years. So world rankings, etc., is just one against the other. And Zheng came through. Schmidlova shouldn't really land a blow at 67th in the world rankings, but playing for a bronze medal at the Paris Olympics. So it's going to be interesting. Got to be laid right at the off. You saw that yesterday, 1.08. Got to be laid at the off. It's going to cost you absolutely nothing to find out. Emma Raducanu on hard court. I don't know. She's a bit of an Arthur Daly player. I don't know whether I can trust her or not. Old money bags. Emma Raducanu. Anisimova and Dolehide, 2 Americans playing each other, might see a 3-setter. 176th against 49th as well. And the 176th is the odds-on favourite. So that suggests possible injury recently for Anisimova. Let's have a look. No, 2021. So I don't know why 176th in the world is a strong favourite there. But Djokovic will be the standout match today. I'd love to watch this. I haven't seen Musetti live yet. It'd be great to see him. So we're getting deeper in the tournament. I cannot discount Musetti. Just you're going to take a gamble whether you think Djokovic's odds will shorten during this match. And if they do, it'd be great value backing Musetti. I think people are cottoning on to him. And Djokovic has had the odd loss this season as well. It is normally my day off on a Friday, but as you can see, I'm getting a bit excited about all of the familiar names we've got out and about. Lots of familiar names, lots of familiar European leagues. Look at all this. It's a beautiful sight after having to deal with Norwegian First Division. Oh boy, I was on the lines to the Samaritans trying to wade through the Norwegian First Division and the Swedish Superettan. Oh man, but this is a lot more like it, isn't it? You wait till we get to these 3 consecutive weekends, the 3rd of August. Then we're going to move on to the 10th of August. That won't appear just yet. But you can get a look into the future here at uk.soccerway.com as I take a Quick swig of my coffee. And very nice it is too. 3rd of August. We're starting to see some more big leagues coming online. It's great stuff. SPL. Hearts and Rangers, a fascinating opening fixture. Top 3 clash, but Rangers and Celtic ordinarily just going to boss this league throughout. Hearts are the best of the rest, though. Watch out for them this season. Got a few trades, Hearts, last season, coming from 0-2 down on a couple of occasions to get 3-2 wins. FA Cup likely to be too illiquid. These are the very low league sides. Penistone against Charnock. I know we've all had sleepless nights waiting for Penistone against Charnock. And Thackley against Frickley. Wow, man. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. Padiham against Goldcar. That's another one for you football purists, along with Wolfrunians against Atherstone. Wonderful stuff. But we've got a lot of peripheral leagues kicking off. Coppa Italia as well, Jupiler League, and all the rest. But it starts getting excited on the 10th of August when we've got English Championship, English League One, English League Two. Lovely jubbly. Fantastic stuff. Don't forget, make sure you target your newly promoted sides and newly relegated sides. I'll be working on those before the kick-off. We've got to make sure we know newly promoted, newly relegated. SPL sees best of the rest. Belgian Jupiler League, Dutch Eredivisie, great to see that back. Portuguese Primeira Division, and we've got one of the big guns out, Porto. Fantastic to see. Don't forget, see if you can find your newly promoted, newly relegated. I think AVS, newly promoted here. Similar in the Eredivisie, you're not going to get newly, you're just going to get newly promoted, I think. Oh, yeah, newly promoted and newly relegated. I don't see any of them here today. Willemsvee, I think, might have been newly promoted, but I will confirm on the date itself. We've got to see whether they're going to sink or swim this season. Turkish Super League beginning. The special one, Jose Mourinho, is at Fenerbahce. Now you know why. I was quite hot on them in Europe midweek. The special one knows how to play Europe, and he's going to attract, I think, a better quality of player to Fenerbahce, like Edin Dzeko from Roma. A fantastic centre forward, even though he's nearly as old as Joe Biden. So, an exciting day today, but normally my day off. But you never know. I want to get up and about. If there is any trades, I will pass them on. If I am trading with my own money today, then it's not going to cost me anything to pop on and say to you, do X, Y, and Z. But don't expect any plays today. I do need to take some time off for myself because I will be giving up my weekends for you, both Saturday and Sunday. And we're talking midday all the way through to about 8 or 9 p.m. If you add another 6 hours to that, that's 3 a.m., 4 a.m. So as you can appreciate, I do like to have some time off. But it is an exciting coupon today. Lots and lots of potential. 46 opportunities. We'll take the Conference League out. 38 opportunities to play. Lots of familiarity as well, which is fantastic. Earliest kickoff, probably 4:30 there for Slavia Prague. 6 o'clock after that. I certainly should be around for the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clocks. And I'd be more than happy to pass on any plays for you if I am up and about. Have a great Friday and get ready for the season proper, which begins in earnest in these next 3 weekends. 3rd of August, 10th of August for England, 17th of August for the Premier League. Oh, it's great to have August back.